So as you all can see, I have pasted few chat links in the chat box, which is first one is the syllabus link. You can avail your syllabus by clicking on this particular link. You can make the payment by clicking on this particular link. So if you have not enrolled for this course, you can just click on this link, you can make the payment and you can enroll with us. So what are you waiting for? Quickly enroll, because obviously this class will be going to go amazing. So about your feedback, if you want to give us feedback, you can just fill this form and we'll receive your feedback. About the batch details, you have to just click on this link and you'll get to know complete details about this course. In case you have any query, you can just email us on support@olympiadsuccess.com, or you can WhatsApp us on these two numbers. All right. As I told you already, that in case you find an internet glitch, you can join us live on the Facebook. So I think everybody's clear with these relevant links. So I'll not take much time. Your mentor is already here with us. She's a wonderful mentor. She is teaching since so long now, and she is having a wonderful conceptual clarity with the engaging class behavior, right? Because she keeps her class engaging and interesting. So I'll not take much time. All over to you, Elena ma'am.
Hello, hi, can you hear me clearly? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, Jake, yeah, Jake, Sritiba, and Abhiram. Yeah. So let me introduce myself. My name is Alina. Okay. So what is my name? Alina. Okay. So first, I will give you a brief introduction about myself regarding my educational qualification and experiences and which companies which I was associated with. Okay. So my qualifications are MSc BEd, and I have 7 years of experience, and my past institutions were Byju's and Entry app. Okay, hope you are familiar with the word. It's a brand at tech companies. Okay, and now I am associated with Olympiad Success classes. Okay, and I have 7 years of experience and have been working with young minds like you for a while. Okay, so I really enjoy the classes with young minds. Okay, and very very creative and very spontaneous kids like you. I will get refreshed by taking classes. Okay, so hope everything is clear from my side. Yes, give me a thumbs up if you understand me. Yes, good, good, good. Okay. Um, so here, before moving to the session, let me have a brief introduction about Olympiad success classes. You know what is Olympiad exams, right? It is a competitive exam. So it is held at school to check your, to filter out the exceptional students. So what we need in the competitive exams? Can anybody tell me? Please put it in the chat box. What actually we need to win in a competitive exam? Have you, attended any competitive exams till now? Anybody? Abhiram, Sridhiba, Jake, have you attended any competitive exam? Have you wrote any competitive exam? Yes, Sridhiba has nodded her head. Okay, tell me, Sridhiba, which competitive exam you have attended? I'm waiting for your reply. Abhiram, Jake, Olympiad. Okay, so if Olympiad. Good, 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 Sridhiba. Then Abhiram and Jake, this is your first, or you are going to, okay, Asset and CAT for FU Olympiad exam. Very good, my dear students. Good. See, you have an idea about exams, right? You have attempted this exam. So what skill you need to win in this exams? See, we need this problem solving skill, right? High accuracy. We want to find out the answers in high accuracy, right? Yes. So we want problem solving skill. We need to find out the answers accurately. So what we need to find out answers accurately? We need the conceptual knowledge, plus we want to master in the practical skills of problem solving, right? These two things we need, right? So here we are providing that. Here we are providing classes to master in this practical knowledge plus conceptual knowledge as well, right? Yes. Okay, clear? Fine? Yeah. So can we start the class? So today we are going to look, Pooja, you want to speak something?
Thank you so much, Elena ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, I'll give you the tour of the PPT now, okay, wherein you'll get to know about the course details and other things. So let me share my screen with you all. Just a moment, kids. Hope everybody can see my screen. All right. Yes, so we are good to go, as you all has joined us in science demo. So as you know that Olympiad Success is India's largest online platform for preparation. India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad's preparation. It is one of its kind yearly program that includes 2+ program classes, subjects for mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, spoken and written, Vedic maths and coding. What do we provide? We do provide one-on-one online classes, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE and IB classes for grades 2 to 12. One-on-one preparation classes for international mathematics, Olympiad, SESMO, SEMO, HKMO, TIMO, math counts, US common math, US common core math competition, maths kangaroo and PRM. You can meet a rank holder on our screen. They are kids like you only. So what you have to do is every day you have to just spare 2 hours extra from your regular studies to become a rank holder like them. So what do we provide in live classes? Group sessions. There will be group session with around 20 students delivered through Zoom platform by our seasoned tutors. Session will be 3 days per week. Days will be Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Timing will be 8 p.m. till 9:15 p.m. with 5 minutes of break. Session will be for 35 minutes plus 5 minutes of break plus 35-minute session. The session includes a mix of theory, practice questions, doubt sessions, and discussion on previous year papers. Students will get reading skill and practice questions, which will be available on the dashboard or Olympiad Success. What do students will get? They will get a free access to Olympiad Success platform to practice topic-wise mock test for both maths and reasoning, to as logical reasoning constitute 10-15% of the questions. Soon I'm going to give the dashboard tour for the same. These all are the relevant links. No need to worry. I have already pasted in the chat box. We'll again paste in the chat box. So link of the syllabus is here with you. So you can avail your syllabus by clicking on this particular link. Fees for this course is 12,264 rupees. It is 55 session course. Payment can be made by clicking on this particular link. The fees includes online classes, daily reading notes and exercises, practice of previous year papers, access to Olympiad Success platform for mathematics plus logical reasoning. So what all you need is a laptop or desktop with good internet connection, with good camera clarity for the better picture, and with good headphones for the better audio clarity. And as I told you already, that Olympiad examinations are a little tougher than the regular examination. So your mentor has already mentioned this thing. So what you have to do is you have to just spare 2 hours every day apart from your regular studies. So live classes are going to start from which day? That is Friday, 10th of May. So let me take you through dashboard tour now. What you have to do is you have to just enter this URL olympiadsuccess.com and you'll get this page on your screen. Okay, over here you have to just enter your user details. Make sure that you enter your correct user details, otherwise you will not be able to log in. These details you will get it the moment you will enroll for this batch with us. So after filling your details, you'll get the personal details on your screen where you have to just check your profile details, whether these are correct or incorrect. In case you find any error, you can just rectify it over here and you can click on update button. All right. After clicking on update, your profile will be updated. So after this, you have to just click on live classes, which is right after this my referral icon for your reading till and question papers. After this, you have to select your subject for which specific subject you want to see your material and topic. So here you can see the schedule. In schedule, you will get the clarity in which session we are going to cover with specific topics. So each and every session is having different set of topics. There are so many sessions you can see. And each session is having a different topic, right? As you know already, there are 55 sessions. So here is a holiday calendar for your reference that you should not take unnecessary leaves because already session is there twice a week and we do have festival holidays also. All right. So here is the reading field now for your reference to make a better understanding for you. So you can see there's a topic and you can understand it easily. Same goes for set 2 also. There are a number of sets. A lot of material is there for you for your practice. So now you can see the question paper. There are question papers and answer keys, but I suggest you just download your question paper, solve it, and then later on check your answer keys. Don't download your answer keys parallelly, otherwise you will get curious to check your answers parallelly while solving your questions. Okay, so this will not give a clear preparation for you. So you can see there are so many questions for your practice. Each and every worksheet is having a different questions. So answer keys. All right, set 2 answer keys. So in live classes, we'll get these things: reading material, question papers, schedule, holiday calendar. In worksheet, which is right under this dashboard button, you have to select your subject again, wherein you'll get more practice worksheets. Okay, so in worksheet, you'll get more practice worksheet. For that, you have to just click on worksheet, you have to select your subject, and here you go. You have to click on take exam. After clicking on take exam, you will get instruction page on your screen. You have to read each and every instruction carefully, that you should not commit any mistake while attempting your worksheet. After this, you have to just click on start worksheet. While clicking on start worksheet, you will get your worksheet on your screen, wherein you can see there are 50 questions in each and every worksheet. All right, so there is a lot of practice again for you. So once you're done with question 2, you have to move on question one. You are done with question 1. Sorry, you are done with question 1. You have to move on question 2. For that, you have to just click on next button. You are done with question 2. You have to move on next question. You have to click on next button. So in this way, you have to attempt all the 50 questions. And once you're done with all the 50 questions, check your questions and answers carefully, that you have not made any mistake. In case you find any error, you can just rectify it before submitting. For submission, you have to just click on finish button. Yes, I've reviewed all the questions. Make sure that you should submit your worksheet, otherwise you will not be able to check your performance and how you have performed. That was a feedback page. If you want to give, you can give. Otherwise, you can click on later button. So now you're done with worksheet. You want to see your performance. For that, you have to click on performance button, which is right after this worksheet button. Again, you have to select your subject, and here you go. You can see your worksheet. I've attempted on this date, and you can click on view button. You can see I have attempted 2 questions, wherein one is correct, one is wrong. Right? So that shows you that make sure whenever you're attempting the worksheet, you should attempt it carefully. All right. So you can see the answers also. All right. So that shows that how you have to move ahead for your worksheet. So this is all about your dashboard. In live classes, you'll get your reading, your question papers, your answer keys, your schedule and holiday calendar. In worksheet, you'll get your practice worksheet, and performance. You'll get to know about your performance, that how you have performed. All right. So you have to just log out. So this is all about dashboard tour. If anybody is having any query related to the dashboard and course details, just drop it in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer all your queries. Okay, Jake has query. I have a doubt. If I miss a class, will there be a Zoom recording? Yes, for sure. There'll be a Zoom recording. You can look back for sure. Anybody else? Sridipa, do you have any doubt? Abhiram, do you have any doubt? All right. So I have few questions for you. Which one is your favorite topic in science? Let's have some ice-breaking time. Type it in the chat box. Which one is your favorite topic? Oh, they all started thinking. Abhiram is rolling his eyes. Type it in the chat box. Hurry up. We want to know. My grade 8 young minds. Tell me fast. All right, so Sridipa's favorite topic is force and pressure, and Jake's about animals. All right, good to hear that. Which one is your favorite animal, Jake? And about Sridipa, okay, Abhinam, not sure about me. Why so? All right, about space. Okay, nice. So I think Elena ma'am can relate with Sridipa today. I have given the clue now. All right. So tell me, what are the timings and days for your class? Let me check your knowledge whether you have seen PPT carefully or not. What are your class days and timing? Hurry up, type in the chat box. Your mom is waiting. We have to start with the demo. All right, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Very nice. Good, Aviram. Timings. What are your class timings? All right, timings will be 8 p.m. till 9:15 p.m. Good to hear that. Very nice. So you all are ready for the demo? All set for the demo? Show me thumbs up on the screen. Then I'll hand over to your mentor. All right. All over to you, Elena ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, my dear students, it's our time. So I'm going to take a demonstration for you today. So today the luck goes to Sridiba because we are going to take her favorite topic, that is force and pressure. Okay. So before that, let me ask you one question out of curiosity. So we have interacted a few minutes, right? I have introduced myself and you get to me about, a little about me, right? So, can you tell me what kind of teacher I may be? A strict one or a cool teacher? What idea you got for about a few seconds, a few minutes? What idea you got about me? Can you tell me? Can you describe me by one or two words? What do you thought, like by just interacting with me? What do you thought about myself? I just want to like soft natured. Okay, thank you. A kind teacher, a cool teacher. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, that's great. Okay. So we were all curious about to know ourselves. What are others' idea about ourselves, right? Other perspective about ourselves, right? Yes, good. So I'm going to share the screen and let's start force and pressure. So relax. So we are going to, just I just want to clarify how the classes are going on a regular basis. Okay. So we have the PPT, we have the content with us. Okay. So we are going to just study the content. Okay. Now force and pressure. Okay, so what do you mean by, let's start with force. So we have two words here, force and pressure, right? Okay. So tell me, okay, the force and pressure. We have two words with us. So let us take one word, that is force. So how can you define force? How can you define force? What do you mean by force? See, we can define force by two words. That these two words are really familiar to us. Every day, maybe when we are visiting outside, when we are going to a shopping mall or when we are going to a ATM counter, we can see these two words in it is written in front of the door, either of these two words in front of the door. Can you tell me that two words? See, this is a very, very familiar word to us. We can see in our daily life everywhere, in front of the door, manually operating door, not automatic door, manually operating. Yes, Abram. Yes, Jake. Very good. Yes, Sridiba. Push or pull. So we can define force by push or pull. Okay. So while pushing or pulling an object, what is actually happening? We are exerting force on that object, right? We are exerting force on that object. So here you can see push or pull. So what is actually push or pull? Sometimes we may get confused, right? Sometimes I got confused. What is push or what is pull? When it is written in the board, what I need to do? I need to just, apply force on this side or this side. Often you get confused, right? Or me only every time. So what do you mean by push? Push means we are dragging something away from us, right? We want to push door in this direction, away from us, right? Pulling means we are dragging things towards us, right? Push and pull. Here you can see in the picture, the picture of the pushing, right? And here you can see pulling. Pulling means we are dragging towards our side. So what is actually happening during push or pull? Here we are exerting force on an object. One object is exerting force on another object. For simply when we talk about, when we are typing something, what we are actually do, we are pushing the keys, the computer keys, right? And if you want to sit on a chair, what we want to do, we want to pull that chair, right? Then we can sit into that chair, right? And tell me, what is SI unit of force? See, we understood what is force is, right? What is SI unit of force? It is Newton. The SI unit of force is Newton. So I hope these points are clear to you. Force is push or pull. When we are pushing or pulling of an object, what is actually happening? We are exerting force on that object. Examples are also given here. When we are using computer key, actually we are pushing that key. When we are pulling a chair, we are exerting force on that chair. And the SI unit of force is Newton. Clear? Yes. Now, what are the effects? When we are giving force on an object, what all things happen to an object? We can move a stationary object, right? Suppose an object is at rest. When we are applying force on this object, what we can do, we can move that object, right? We can move the stationary object, or sometimes if an object is moving like this, if I apply a force on that object, I can stop that object. So force can stop an object, force can move an object, force can increase or decrease the speed of an object, force can change the direction of motion of an object, force can change the shape and size of an object. So can you tell me a real life example of the effect of force by doing a force? Can you tell me a real life example? Anybody? A real life example of effect of force. See, all 5 points are written here. You can just tell me an example. What is happening in your real life by applying a force? What all changes we can bring? Abhiram, Jake, Sritiba, any example? Yes, pushing a book. Yes, when book is stationary, if you want to learn that book, you want to just push that book. Yeah, kicking a ball, pulling a door. Very good, very good. Yeah, that's it. That's enough. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yes. So we already talked about force. It is an interaction between two objects. Actually, two objects are interacting together when we are applying a force, right? You know, this force has a magnitude and direction. It depends on magnitude and direction. So we call this as a vector quantity because it is direction. It depends upon the direction. We are applying force on this side or this side or this direction or this direction. Actually, it depends upon the direction and it has a magnitude. What do you mean by magnitude? Suppose I apply a force 20 Newton on this on an object. Okay, so that 20, that number is the magnitude, right? So force has both magnitude and direction. That's why it is called as a vector quantity. You can see vector quantity. Yeah, it's a vector quantity, right? And there are two type of force. Okay, the force is divided into two types: contact force and field force. Contact force and field force. What do you mean by contact? See, as that name itself suggests, contact means two objects are directly touching. There is a physical contact between two objects. So such forces is known as contact forces. So you can see the table over here. The two examples of contact forces are given here, right? Sorry, examples of two type of forces are given here: contact forces and field forces. So in field forces, there is no touching, there is no physical contact. These two objects are disconnected, but there is a certain source of force is acting between that two objects. Okay, so by looking at that picture, can you tell me the examples of contact forces where two objects are actually in physical contact with each other? Tell me, Sridhiba, Jake, and Abhiram, tell me some example of contact forces where two objects are touching each other. So you already gave me examples. Frictional force, very good. Frictional force. Okay, then magnet, Jake. Magnet actually, they need a contact. See, if a magnet want to attract something, actually the magnet want to touch that object. No, by a few distance it can, attract that magnetic power. If it need that magnetic power, it doesn't need that physical contact, right? If it attract, they will attract and they will stick on each other. But in order to stick on each other, actually they want that physical contact. No, see, magnetic power, without contact, it can exert that magnetic power. Okay, Jay, it is a field force, not a contact force. Okay, yes. Then other examples: pulling a handle to open a door. Exactly. So we are touching that handle. right? So that is contact only. That is an example of contact forces. Yes. So here you can see some examples of contact forces and field forces. Let's just check the examples. You can see where we are touching an object. Two objects are in physical contact in the examples, first, second, and third, right? Two objects are in physical contact. So they come under contact forces. Here on the other side, you can see some examples where you can see this is gravitational force, right? The attraction between two objects. See, in this universe, every two object has got a certain attraction. Okay, do you believe that? See, we both, every two object here, me and this pen tablet, we two have some source of attraction. So that attraction is known as the gravitational force of attraction. Okay, every two object in this universe has got some attraction. Okay, so if I already said you an example, me and this pen tablet has got some attraction. See, we are not touching each other, right? Or just I when I put this pen tablet on a holder. See, we have me and this pentablet has got got an attraction. See, this is not contact. This is not a contact attraction, right? So, gravitational force is an example of field forces where two objects are not touching each other. Then electrostatic attraction. What do you mean by electrostatic attraction? It is the attraction between two oppositely charged species. See, you can see minus q and a plus q, two oppositely charged species. They have got a certain attraction, which is not contact, which is field forces. Then magnetic attraction, which is not contact, this is field forces. So let me conclude. There are two type of attraction. What are they? Two type of forces. What are they? Contact forces and field forces. Understood? Okay. So it's question time. Let me ask you some questions, whether you are listening or not. Okay. Tell me, what is SI unit of force? SI unit of force. Good. All three of you have answered. What are the two type of forces? What are the two type of forces? Good. One example. Okay, we can field forces or non-contact forces. Both are right. Field forces or non-contact forces. Both are right. Tell me one example of non-contact or field forces. Tell me one example of non-contact or field forces. Non-contact force or field force. One example. Srideepa, Jake, right? What about Abhiram? I think Abhiram is stuck, right? I think Abhiram has got some network issues. He's stuck in between. Yeah. Okay. Moving to the next slide. Very good. So you are listening. Okay. Now let us understand more deeper to uh, forces. Okay. Yeah. Now, see, on an object, more than one force can act on a single object. Okay. So more than one single force act on an object at one time. So what is the total force? Total force means we call it as net force. So I said, as more than one force can act on an object at the same time. And what is the overall force? We call it as net force. Overall force is known as the net force. So how will we get the net force? The combination of all forces is called the net force. So we want to find out the total force or the net force. We want to look all the combination of all the forces will give us the net force. So how will you determine the combination of all force? It depends upon the nature of force. For example, if all the forces acting on a single object is acting on the same direction. Here you can see the example. See, two forces are acting in the same direction. You can see the arrows are on the same side. So in an object, if suppose two forces are acting on an object and that two forces are acting in the same direction, how we find out the total force or the net force? Just add the two forces. For example, if 5 Newton and 5 Newton is acting on a single object at the same time in the same direction, you want to find out the net force. Just add 5 Newton plus 5 Newton. Total, you will get 10 Newton. Suppose if two forces are acting in opposite direction, how will you find out the net force? Who can tell me? Suppose 5 Newton and 10 Newton is acting on a single object in the opposite direction. So how will you find out the net force? So do I need to add or subtract? That is a question. Do I need to add or subtract? Yes, we want to subtract. If they're acting in the same direction, add them. If they're acting in the opposite direction, subtract them. Okay, so I will give you the example for that as well. Let us move to the next slide. Yeah, so here you can see 5 Newton and 10 Newton is acting on a single object, but in the different direction. So what do you want to do? You want to subtract them. 10 minus 5 will give us 5 Newton. So tell me in which direction the force act. For example, this is a pen tablet. 10 Newton is acting in this direction and 5 Newton is acting in this direction. So tell me in which direction does this pen tablet move? In which direction does this pen tablet move? The direction in which yes, that means in the direction which we are applying greater force. That is the direction in which we are applying the 10 Newton force. In that direction, the the pen tablet move. Right? Yes. Very good. Understood about forces? The things till now we have discussed. Clear? See here, you can see there are different type of forces. Gravitational force, Archimedes force, friction force, tension force, spring force, normal force. So don't get confused by all such forces. These are very simple. So we will clear it one by one. Okay. Before that, let us look at this map diagram. Okay, here you can see already we have learned a few things from this diagram. That is, two type of force are there: non-contact force and contact force. Non-contact force is also known as, tell me what is the other name of non-contact force? Put it in the class forum. What is the other name of non-contact force? Very good, very good. Field forces, right? Field forces. So there are two type of forces, non-contact or field and contact forces. So we have seen some examples of non-contact forces, the gravitational force, electromagnetic forces. What do you mean by electromagnetic forces? There are two things in that, electromagnetic. What are the two things acting there? There are two field acting. There are two field acting in that. Can you tell me what are the two field acting there? Electromagnetic. What are the two field? Abhiram, what happened? Any technical issue? Yes. Right, Jake? Okay, that's no worries, Abhiram. So electromagnetic means there is electricity and magnetism, right? Electric field and magnetic field. So they both combine. When a current is, electric field has got certain effect. So when a electricity passes on to suppose electricity passes through a wire, you know what will happen? There will be a magnetic field around that wire. Is it interesting? When a current passes through a wire, there will be a magnetic field around that wire. So we can make use out of it. The working of electric motor, the working of electric bell is all based on this electromagnetism. Okay. And nuclear forces, these are all non-contact forces. And what is contact forces? Contact forces are simply push or pull. Where two objects are in physical contact, then it is contact forces. Clear, my dear students? Give me a thumbs up if it is clear. Yes, good, good. Yeah. Moving on to the next slide. Okay. Now, here we are going to study some laws, very important laws. These are known as Newton laws. There are three main Newton's law. That is Newton first law, second law, third law. So this is very simple as well. So I will define what is Newton first law. So do you have any previous knowledge regarding Newton's first law? Anybody? Give me a hand raise if you have any previous knowledge about Newton's law. No, right? This is the first time. Okay. Okay, fine. So Newton's first law states that an object remains. So suppose this object is at rest. Okay, an object, whether it is rest or motion, remain in rest or motion until and unless an external unbalanced force act on that object. Clear? See, an object at rest tend to stay at rest. Okay, if we are at rest, we tend to stay at rest only. And if we are in motion, we tend to stay at motion only until and unless when an external unbalanced force act on an object. Clear? What does it mean? What does it mean? Can you tell me an example of that? Any example comes in your mind? Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest continue in its rest. An object in motion continue in its motion until and unless an external unbalanced force act on that object. Let us take an experiment. I have taken a glass. Okay, I have taken a glass, a card over it, and I put a coin over the card. Clear? A glass. Okay, I will draw that. A glass here. Okay, a card and a coin. Okay. Now what I'm doing is that, see here, the glass, the card and the coin is in rest position. They are at rest. They continue at rest position. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pull that card. Okay. I'm going to pull that card. Only this card. So what we observe is that, so tell me what you will observe. I'm going to pull that card and what you observe. Tell me, what do you observe? When I pull that card, what do you observe? Think, what do you observe? I'm going to pull that card only. Coin will, do you believe in that, Sridhava? Coin will move along with the card? I'm only, you know, pulling that card quickly. I'm going to pull that card quickly. If we precisely pull that card, the coin will fall to that glass tumbler or any tumbler. Okay, that coin will fall to that glass. Why? What is the reason behind that? What is the reason behind that? See, I am pulling that card means I am exerting force on that card only. Card and coin is at rest position. Okay, I am giving a force, an unbalanced force on that card. So now card is at motion. It from the rest position it moves to this motion position. Okay, now what will happen? That coin at rest continue it at rest. That's why it fall to that glass tumbler. Clear? So this is Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest continue it at rest. An object on motion continue it at motion until and unless when an external unbalanced force act on that object. So here we have a glass, a card, a coin, all three at rest. But I just pull that card. Now card comes to motion and coin continue it at rest because I didn't give any force on that coin. It continued at rest. That's why it fall to the beaker or the tumbler. Clear? Give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Okay. So here you can see when forces are balanced. Okay, if the forces are balanced, we can say acceleration acting on that object is zero. What do you mean by acceleration? Any idea? Acceleration. Accelerating. Any idea? What is acceleration? A sudden burst of speed. Okay, that's right. That means if there's a change in the speed, acceleration happen, right? Pushing an object, not like that. It is associated with speed or velocity, Sridhiba. If there is a sudden change in the speed, acceleration happen. So if the forces are all balanced, the acceleration is zero. Okay, suppose if the body at rest, if there is no speed or no velocity, body at rest means acceleration is zero. And if the body in motion, that means it is in uniform motion or uniform velocity. If the body is moving, then also acceleration is zero. In both cases, acceleration is zero. Acceleration is not equal to zero when it experiences change in its velocity or speed. When there is a change in its velocity or speed, there comes an acceleration. Okay, clear? So I'm not going to confuse you anymore. We are just studying Newton's first law and we have seen an examples of Newton's first law. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let us look at this concept also. Mass and inertia. So what do you mean by mass and what do you mean by inertia? See, we have seen Newton's first law of motion, right? Every object continues in its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line until it is compelled to change that state by unbalanced force acting on it, right? So what do you mean by mass and inertia? Okay, so inertia is a property of a body to resist any changes. Okay, inertia of motion is there, inertia of rest is there. What do you mean by inertia of rest? To resist that body to change its state. Okay, when a body is at rest, it continues in rest only. When a body is at motion, it continues in motion. To resist that change, that tendency to resist that change is known as inertia. Okay, so mass is associated with inertia. Mass, this inertia depend upon mass. So we can say that mass is a measure of the amount of inertia. Okay, mass is associated with this resistance. So if you want to, suppose there are two bodies. Okay, two bodies, a 5 kilogram body and a 10 kilogram body, both at rest, both at rest. So which body do we need to give a lot of force to move? A 5 kilogram body or a 10 kilogram body? Which will resist a lot to move, which will resist 10 kilograms. So that is why it is called as mass is a measure of inertia. Inertia means what? To resist the state. Okay, to resist the state of motion or rest. That is inertia. So it depends upon mass. Okay, and mass is a scalar quantity. Okay, it depends only on the magnitude, not in the direction. So it is a scalar quantity. Clear? Okay, so we can sum up the classes. Okay, so tell me one by one what all things we have learned today. We have learned about force, different type of two type of force examples. Then what we have learned about the effect of force and the net force, then Newton's first law, mass and inertia. These are the things we have learned till now, right? So my question is uh, tell me whether force is a scalar or vector quantity. Force is a scalar or vector quantity. I will give you what is scalar and vector quantity. Scalar means it depends only on the magnitude. Vector means it depends on magnitude and direction. So force, does it depend upon both magnitude and direction or only magnitude? Both. Very good. So force is a vector quantity depend upon magnitude and direction, right? Yes. So, can you tell me some real life examples of Newton's first law of motion? Anybody? Newton's first law. Think about Newton's first law. Newton's first law states that an object at rest continue in rest, an object in motion continue in motion until and unless an external unbalanced force act on that object. So, any real life example? Very good, Abraham. Very simple example to understand what is Newton first law. An object, see, I am sitting here. See, my position is rest position. When somebody pushes me, I just move, right? I am in motion. If somebody push me, right, I will be in motion, right? This is Newton's first law, right? Swing. So how can you explain swing? Car moving. Okay, car moving, right? It continue in that motion. When it breaks, what will happen? It comes to rest, right? A car moving in a road, right? So it is in motion. It continue in motion, right? When it suddenly break, what will happen? What will happen? Suppose we are sitting in a car and car is moving. And when suddenly the car put brake, what will happen to us? Who can tell me? What will happen to us? Will stop, suddenly stop, like the car moving, and when suddenly brake, we stop like this? No. We will move forward and stop, right? We will move forward. Why we move forward? Suppose we are standing in a bus, right? When bus suddenly break, we suddenly stop like this? No. We will move forward and stop, right? Why we move forward? See, that is an example of Newton's first law. Because the bus is in motion and we are also in motion, right? So when bus suddenly, when an external unbalanced force act, like in the form of brake, it act. So we continue it in motion. We continue like, see, we have a tendency to move. That's why we move and then stop. See, when the fan is, when fan is switched on, it circulate fastly. When we switch off when we switch off, what we can notice, does it stop abruptly? Like on that second, does it stop? No. It will move and then stop. Why it moves and then stop? See, it is in motion. It continue in motion, right? That tendency make it move a little while and then stop. That is happening us also, right? When bus suddenly stop, we just move forward and then stop. So these are all related to Newton's first law of motion. Clear? Okay. Okay, fine. So we can just wind up the class. So tell me how was the class? Tell me, put some comments in the chat box. So we have seen some conceptual knowledge, right? We have seen some, very interesting and very important concepts today, right? What do you feel? Have you understood what I have said? Thank you, Srideepa. Thank you, Abhiram. Thank you, Jake. Okay. So I just, okay. Bye bye. See you the next class. Bye bye.